Okay, I'd like to remind everyone of the open meeting law procedures regarding public participation in the meeting. After notifying the chair, any person may make a video or audio recording of an open session of a public meeting of a public body, subject to reasonable requirements of the chair. If anyone else intends to record this meeting, please indicate so now. And we were notified of one person recording, including using an AI agent, which you can see actually in the list of participants. No person shall address a meeting of a public body without permission of the chair. Since we are not taking questions or comments from the public during this meeting, members of the public may follow up after the meeting with Michelle Sweet, whose contact information is on the meeting notice, and she will direct your questions and comments to the appropriate staff member. Okay, so item 1 of the meeting today is the approval of the minutes for March 11th. We're going to call for a vote of approval. If there are first no questions or comments. Okay, I'm going to take that as no questions or comments. And because we're virtual, we'll need to do roll call. I will ask Jennifer now to go ahead and call out all of the members for vote.
Ty,
Approve.
Chancellor Chen,
Abstain.
Turchese,
Approve.
Scott, did Scott,
Did you
Is
not
he
hear me?
also
Approve.
Nope.
Same thing.
Okay, thank you.
All right, sorry.
Ernesto,
Approve.
Joe,
Approve.
Fran,
Approve.
Secretary Snyder,
Approved.
Jeff,
Approved.
Olaf,
Approved.
Bogdan,
Abstain.
Megan,
Approved.
and Secretary Paley.
Approved.
Okay.
So
motion carries.
the minutes are approved. We're going to now move to item number 2, which is the board chair's report. I thought I would just share that yesterday we testified on the Mass Winds Act. It is our new economic development bill. I had the privilege of testifying with Secretary Gorkowitz and the governor, who both did an excellent job. The governor really spoke to the urgency of the moment, that Mass Winds is designed to build on mass leads, which was an excellent piece of legislation that we are still lucky enough to have resources that we're deploying against, including for MassTech. But that the world has changed in many ways since mass leads happened. We find ourselves with a much less collaborative federal government partner. And at the same time, the economy has shifted in all kinds of ways, and competitiveness across regions has significantly changed. The testimony went on for about 3.5 hours. There was no air conditioning yesterday at the State House, so it was in the mid to high 80s. I want to thank Ben and Carolyn for sticking with us for most of that, given how uncomfortable it must have been for both of you. We did give the opportunity for Ben to speak specifically about about SHIELD and the defense sector initiative, where $100 million is being authorized. We also have new authorizations very relevant to MassTech related to AI and quantum, two of MassTech's core areas, which is a $75 million authorization, and a series of others, including robotics, I should mention, is another one very relevant to MassTech at $25 million. So we are very much eager to be investing in this innovation economy. We're also looking to attract global investment into the innovation economy, which reflects in a concept, a strategy called Global Mass, which is both around attracting global capital alongside state investment, and also helping global companies create their U.S. launchpad from the United States, which we see a lot of it happens all the time, but we want to be doing much more to reach out and make that a core part of how we do business. Additionally, there are sections around affordability, around competitiveness, around talent retention. We're actually intending to actually make the internship tax credit available. We haven't been able to do that since Mass Leads had it only if there was a surplus for a number of years. So we think this is a very important time for both nurturing talent, but also retaining talent in the state. And then the last core part of it is called One Massachusetts, which is really about how we drive equity across the state. And there's numerous pieces to the legislation around that. I would say overall, I felt the conversation yesterday was excellent outside of the discomfort in the room. And we look forward to working with the legislature on the next phase of this process, which will take many, many months. But thank you to MassTech for the huge role it has played, and particularly the SHIELD initiative. I know we got a standing ovation when the Mass Winds Act was announced at SHIELD during one of the SHIELD days. So I appreciate both the support, but also Ben helping people see the value of what we're trying to do. So thanks, everyone. With that, unless there are any questions, I'm going to move to agenda item number 3, which is Carolyn Kirk, our CEO's report.
Thank you, Secretary. And thank you to the members of the board and for your flexibility in pivoting to a virtual meeting. As you know, this is a full board meeting, and during the full board meetings, I prepare a lengthy written report from all the departments and the divisions that was sent to you in your pre-reading. We had a shortened agenda on a couple of items that went forward into June, so we shortened this agenda. And so thus here we are virtually, but you did get the report. I'm happy to take any questions. I'm not going to go through it. In that report, there is a budget update for MassTech. We were able to secure level funding from the House, which for us is $5 million, minus the stipulation of an earmark included in that. So the
so Carolyn, just sorry to interrupt, but you go ahead. Apologies.
No.
Maybe I have that wrong, but you secured that from the Senate, not the House,
Senate,
right?
Did I say House?
Yeah, you said
Thank
House.
you.
Just want to make sure everyone knew.
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
just testing you. Thank you. That was secured from from the Senate. And we're optimistic that it will go through conference successfully, then to the full legislature, and then for governor's signature. So we were very happy to see that uptick. Any questions on the report? And then I have a second and third topic. Second topic will be, we'll go through some of the Grow with Google stats, which is really fun to look at. And Jennifer will take us through some of the responses to open meeting law complaints. But any questions on the CEO report that you received in your pre-reading? Secretary Snyder.
The Mass Cyber Center, I believe they had a municipal cyber event that I didn't see called out. Am I missing dates with that?
Let's see. Well,
That was just last
John
week.
Turchese is here. He'll be happy to share what that was all about. John?
Good afternoon, everybody. Hi, Secretary Snyder. So we had the summit last week. That report, I think, ended at the end of April, maybe was the time frame, so we didn't have it included in there. So it'll be in the subsequent CEO report. But we did have 470 or so
Super.
registered and about 262 attend. So it was a really good day. It was very nice.
Excellent.
Thank
That's
you
good
for
to hear.
asking.
Thanks, John.
And EOTS was there. They had a table. OMST was there with a table as well.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions on the report? Okay, I'm going to ask for the Grow with Google. We did a couple of slides, you saw them, but have a good conversation about what we're seeing with Grow with Google. And just as a reminder, the Grow with Google program is the Commonwealth's invitation to every resident of the Commonwealth to be able to take a course to learn about AI. And it's not just responsible use of AI, but there's real content there, writing, data analysis, content creation, et cetera. And the partner with Grow with Google is Coursera. And they, if you are a resident, you come to the MassTech AI Hub website, you click through and you get to Coursera. And then you are have access to the courses. So since we launched not too long ago, 32,000 people across the Commonwealth have signed up. And what's interesting is about half are continuing their journey of learning, including myself. 19,000 approximately have completed the course. So we're having a lot of uptick. Some of the referrals that have come through mass hires, so we were happy to see that. We also got a lot of referrals from social media and the push that we did there, but it didn't really rise more than 2 or 3%. It's been sort of a multi-pronged channel distribution of the awareness campaign to be able to bring in the users who have registered, which is, like I said, over 32,000. The demographics are pretty interesting. So the folks, overwhelmingly, it's professionals who want to upskill. There's a little bit of a questionnaire as you come through the process. And some people obviously declined to answer, but this really told us that folks who are in the workforce see mastery of AI is essential to their continued development in their careers. The age demographic is an interesting one. It skews towards older folks. Over 55 is the single largest group at about 23%. And then we asked this question around confidence in AI. And there was only about 27% of people who said, I feel extremely confident in AI. The rest either didn't answer or they were neutral or not confident. So we're getting to that gap of folks who need to feel more confident. So we really feel like we're hitting that mark. The courses will be open until December 2027. So this will be live for another year and a half. So 2027. So we think it's leveled off, but certainly we'll look for more pushes to continue to promote the opportunity. But so that's just some of the rundown. Curious to hear people's reactions or thoughts when you read through some of those notes in the pre-reading and as you see here. And Sabrina's on the call as well and can answer questions on what she's seeing.
I'm eager to think about. I mean, it's there are some very impressive stats here that I'm quite encouraged by. I think a lot about the K-shaped economy, the potential new. These are all the tools that are democratizing learning, and however, you see that there's a disproportionate amount of well-educated people who are doing this, not lesser educated people. I'm thinking a lot about how do we go to channels that will allow folks that do not have as much education to get access to these programs. What are the big channel unlocks that we can be using to get some of those learners into the program? I think it's critically important right now. So I think maybe that's the next leg of the stool of making, I think we've made something very valuable available across the state. But it seems like the folks who are most self-motivated are the folks that are the most educated. And we need to think about how we get to folks who wouldn't necessarily seek this out, but when put in front of them in a different pathway, might say, oh yeah, that would be a great thing to learn.
Yep, great. Secretary Snyder?
Yeah, so I make it a point whenever I'm speaking to bring it up. There's a lot of excitement I'm seeing in the Commonwealth. There's not as much awareness as I'd like. I think this kind of gets to Secretary Paley's point. Because like I say, and people are like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. I'm like genuine excitement, genuine enthusiasm, and interest. And so whatever we can do to get it out there, small businesses especially, the individuals in small businesses are like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do about AI. They're talking to me about it. And obviously, there's active interest in higher ed as well. So.
Great. No, this is exactly what we need to hear. We want the team to hear is let's look at, I like that, phrase that what are the channel unlocks to reach multiple demographics on this. Other comments or questions or thoughts or reactions?
Just one observation that I have is Ernesto, to kind of go back to the comment about, folks using AI and technology, at a higher level education. I'm seeing a ton of the trades using AI today. So as younger folks are being hired and going into HVAC, or if they're going into electrical or whatever it may be, I had service done to my home, and a young kid or young gentleman, took a picture, put it into chat, right? And it gave him direction and instructions to next step, where rather than calling back to the home office, he was able to troubleshoot. So I think, as I look at my portfolio of companies, can you leverage AI today not to be, not so much on the robotic side, but on the educational and assistance, right, on the job function that the person may be doing today. So I think just an opportunity where you can help in the trades, because I think that's not going away. I don't see that being replaced in the next 5 years, but 10 years different. But I think there's an opportunity there for us to kind of pull that community into this whole process. So those are my thoughts.
Oh, I love it. Turchese.
One thought, Caroline, piggyback on everything that it has been said, is how do we tie, right, the examples that Ernesto just gave, to give the confidence to the people that engage with Jason, who say, hey, I don't know how that applies to me. So in addition to channel unlock, being able to present them with use cases and examples of how they can be successful within the realm of their activities with this certification, I think will be very helpful to start engaging people who are not as familiar with what AI can do for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. When we launched it with the governor, we had a testimonial from a small business owner who had taken a course and helped with her business. So Sabrina, we should look at can we get some of those testimonials running through our promotion. Ernesto, did you have another comment, or is that your hand?
Yeah, just another observation. Sorry, I don't normally do my hand, but I will do it today. Another observation that I have, just coming from the private sector, we're seeing a ton of companies creating AI courses. And I think, just to play off the comment I just heard, is creating these use cases, right? If you think about 30, 40 years ago, when Microsoft Word or Excel, these tools started coming out, the employees didn't know how to use it. So I'm seeing a bunch of companies building these repeatable case studies and uses for folks. I don't know if there's a knowledge center to kind of play off what you just talked about, Carolyn, earlier about Coursera, but can we find opportunities or find partners that can create those opportunities, either in the trades or in education or in any small business model, where they can not be afraid of the technology?
Mm-hmm. No, great. I'm hearing very similar themes. Jeff.
Yeah, I'm just curious how the course came about. Is it, how did we choose Google as the partner, and is there a procurement process, or was there a vendors? There are different AI models, obviously. What was the basis for that specific program?
Sabrina, you're probably the closest to that.
Yes. Yeah. So when we realized that this is an initiative that we wanted to move forward with, we worked with BCG, who was supporting us initially, to do a landscape analysis of all of the educational opportunities of this nature that were available. And so we met with all of those organizations. Google was willing to do this, for free. And having gone through, the different providers, course materials, this one was the most approachable and robust, and really with the Coursera platform, right, that content delivery is just really excellent. They've been doing it for a long time, so it was clear, but it was also no cost opportunity to partner with them.
Thanks.
Okay. Any other questions? We'll take the feedback back to the team and report subsequently on how we're continuing to reach folks across the Commonwealth, and we'll get you some updated stats as well. So with that, Mr. Chairman, back to you.
Great. Thank you so much for the report and for the early success with with Google. It's terrific. Very excited about that initiative. We had a little preview of John Petroselli. He's coming back on now for item number 4, which is to talk about the Massachusetts Cyber Center Innovation Fund and Cyber Trust Year 5 operating expenses. So John, turn it over to you.
Before we get to
Yep.
that, can we do the open meeting law complaints as part of
Yes.
Carolyn's? Yep,
Oh, yeah.
sorry.
Yes, no,
Thank you, Jennifer.
Carolyn was, she did flag that and I skipped
I-
over it. Let's go.
I know, I sent it right back.
One
Let me
forgets
take it.
about me. No. Okay. So there, before the board are 2 open meeting law complaints. The first one was dated April 10th and was with regards to the March 11th full board meeting that we had at EOED. The complainant brought up 5 issues. The first being inaccurate meeting minutes. At that meeting, the board voted on the December 10th board meeting minutes. And he alleges that they're inaccurate because they omit, quote, omit the chair's demand that a member of the public delete his recording of the meeting. I clarified in the proposed response before you that that's not exactly what happened. And then also summarize the law, which is that the minutes have to include a summary of the discussions on each subject, the decisions made and the actions taken at each meeting, including the record of all votes. And this was an exchange between Chair Paley and the member of the public about the recording of the meeting. It wasn't a deliberation or a topic that the board was addressing or discussed among the board members. There was no decision or action by the board, and so that was not required to be addressed in the minutes. He alleges that the meeting notice was insufficiently specific, and that specifically the report of the chair listed no subtopics. This is a recurring complaint. And so the response is similar to responses we provided in the past, which are that the topics discussed by the chair don't involve public business. They're not within MassTech's jurisdiction. They were really just updates from the chair and nothing that the board members had to discuss or take action on. Also, the CEO report, he alleged it buried the open meeting law complaints within the agenda, within the CEO report. There's nothing in the open meeting law that requires a specific format for the agenda. They were noticed on the public notice. They were included there. They were not buried. He also alleges there were unexplained acronyms within the agenda. Again, this goes back to the CHIPS was the only acronym used in there. We made specific reference in the public notice that it was to the CHIPS and Science Act, but did not spell out what CHIPS stands for. And again, reiterated the same argument we reiterated in the last response to another open meeting law complaint. And then he made a generalized statement that multiple topics across both headings lack the specificity required for the public to understand what business the board planned to conduct. That is very that's not specific enough for, I think, the board to respond to. It's sort of unclear what he's alleging there. So we're stating that there were no violations of the open meeting law with regards to public notice. He said that the chair imposed unlawful burdens on complainants. His complaint states that Chair Paley directed him to copy me or the general counsel at EOED on all future open meeting law complaints. That's factually inaccurate. I went back and listened to the recording again, and in all respects, it was a request that he do that, but not a demand. And also the board's response that was sent to him in another open meeting law complaint response also respectfully asked, it never demanded that he CC anyone on his complaints. In terms of public accessibility, he alleges several things about the meeting not being publicly accessible. Essentially, the statute and regulations require that all open meetings of public bodies be accessible to persons with disabilities. and specify that locations be accessible by wheelchair without need of special assistance. He didn't allege anything related to that, just that the signage was insufficient. We did have somebody, as you all know, who were there in person. We had somebody stationed outside the door explaining where to go. He said the conference meeting room was labeled incorrectly on the meeting notice, but there were lots of people around to direct to where the location was. So we think there was no violation there as well. And then in his complaints, he puts in that there is a pattern and practice of violating the open meeting law. It seems that he's sort of just reiterating all of the complaints and things that he outlined in the complaint as a pattern or practice. But we haven't violated the open meeting law, so there is no pattern and practice of violating the open meeting law. And just so you all know, I think he has, from what I can tell, appealed 7 of the responses that we've provided to him on open meeting law complaints, and the AG has only ruled on 1 of those. So there are a bunch of open issues that the AG's office just has not responded to. In terms of the second complaint, that was dated April 29th, but not received until April 30th. And that one centers around a document called the chair procedures document. And this is a document that's created by MassTech staff and provided to Chair Paley prior to the meetings. And it is to serve as a script for the chair to follow while conducting the meeting. It provides information about open meeting law procedures, like how many members are needed for a quorum, how you can conclude a meeting. It provides a script for him to read regarding recording public meetings, provides a list of the board members expected to attend the meeting, who is presenting each agenda item, and it does have a copy of the motion, of the draft motions, but the chair, it specifically says the chair doesn't need to read from that document. And as you all know, the document is not sent to any other board members and is intended solely to guide the chair through the procedural process of a board meeting. The complaint is alleging that the chair procedures document should be listed in the meeting minutes as a document used at the meeting, and that it should have been provided to him when he sent requests to MassTech staff for board materials sent to the board in advance. So you all know the open meeting law requires that the minutes of a public body's meeting include a list of all documents and exhibits used by the public body during the meeting. And in terms of what that means to be used by a public body, the Division of Open Government has said that it's clear where a document is physically present, verbally identified, and the contents are discussed by the members of the public body during an open meeting, it has been used. In this case, the chair procedures document is not referred by the chair. It's not verbally identified. The contents are not discussed by the members. While it may be present at the meeting, the public body does not use the chair procedures document during the meeting. And so we do not believe it needs to be in the minutes. And also, it is not a material sent to the board in advance, so we did not believe that it should have been provided when he requested anything sent to the board in advance. And so I provided copies of the 2 responses for your review in an email earlier this week, and I intend to send out those responses in substantially the same format as I provided to you all after this meeting. And that was a lot.
Jennifer, thank you. Any questions or comments on that? Great. I'm going to turn it over to John for item number 4.
Thank you, Secretary. Good afternoon, everybody. Max Faithy is on the call. He's going to brief you on the motion and what we have for the Cyber Center. So Max is our Senior Program Manager for Cybersecurity Innovation. So Max, take it away.
Thanks so much, John. Hi, everybody. Rachel, are you going to be showing the slide, or am I supposed to show the slide?
Yep, let me bring him back up. Give me one second.
Thank you. So the award I'm presenting on provides $850,000 to CyberTrust Massachusetts, who's our nonprofit partner leading the day-to-day operations of our Security Operations Center and Cyber Range initiative. So this award is going to enable them to continue their important role leading those operations. And it comes at a time of significant growth for our Security Operations Center program. Just a year ago, the CyberTrust Massachusetts SOC that we partner with was providing managed detection and response services to 7 municipalities in Massachusetts, which represented about 1,620 endpoints, our laptops, desktops, servers are commonly known as. And currently, the SOC is providing managed detection and response to approximately 34 organizations covering around 12,000 endpoints, still mostly municipal entities, but we're also now protecting small business and nonprofit endpoints. And at the Cyber Center and with CyberTrust, we're expecting this strong growth to continue, and the SOC is projected to grow to over 20,000 endpoints by next year. And at the same time, the SOC is continuing to mature in terms of its services and technology stack. In just the last year, the SOC has added extended detection and response, zero trust and application control services, and email security. That's all together providing a much broader defense in depth for organizations to include additional areas of their surface beyond just the endpoint to include their networking devices, identities, cloud, and email. That's going to help with security and compliance around other standards like CMMC and HIPAA, and really help support small businesses and nonprofits moving forward. And as John mentioned last week, we showcased the SOC's capabilities at our Municipal Cybersecurity Summit in Worcester to over 260 municipal representatives, and we've been seeing a really strong interest from many municipalities in joining the CyberTrust SOC since that time. The summit, we're excited to talk about, included an announcement of exciting partnerships that the Cyber Center helped CyberTrust establish with 2 important municipal-focused organizations, MSISAC and Meta. And the partnership with MSISAC, or the Multi-State Information Sharing and Analysis Center, is really a first-in-the-nation partnership that's going to allow the CyberTrust SOC customers to gain free MSISAC membership and their malicious domain blocking and reporting service, which is provided by Akamai, which is a local company that has a global scope. And the partnership with Meta, which is an association of Massachusetts K-12 education technology leaders, is going to enable their member schools to receive free assessments as well as the MSISAC membership. So we're expecting these partnerships to lead to significant additional municipal uptake of the programs. All the SOC service activity is really allowing CyberTrust to advance their other primary mission of developing the next generation of cybersecurity workforce. The slide here shows the really broad representation included in CyberTrust's current SOC intern class, which participates in a highly structured, rigorous, and substantive 6-month internships, preparing students for cyber employment in the AI age. And when we launched these programs 5 years ago, we envisioned developing Tier 1 SOC analysts that support basic responding and triaging of initial security alerts. And what we've been seeing is many of these responsibilities now taken over by AI. And the CyberTrust internship program is really focused on developing those Tier 2 and 3 analysts. So this award is going to continue to support our goal of creating well-rounded cybersecurity students prepared for these AI-resistant roles. And we've been seeing success with this, with about 70% of SOC interns finding cybersecurity employment within 3 months of searching. And I'll just conclude by noting this award is going to continue to support CyberTrust with managing these programs as it gets closer to becoming self-sustaining without funding from the initial $21 million the Cyber Center received from the legislature and the administration. CyberTrust met the revenue generation goal we set for FY26, and they're on track to breaking even without Cyber Center funding towards the end of FY28. So with that, I'll pause if there's any questions, or for the motion if not.
Yeah, Max, quick question.
Yeah, go ahead, Chancellor Chen.
Yep. So in terms of expanding beyond the 40, right, to other municipalities, what do you feel is the limiting factor at this point? Is it just getting more municipalities to understand how to sign on, or more people, or what's the scaling need?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of outreach, like the Municipal Cybersecurity Summit. It's meeting them in budget cycles. It's communicating how to build efficient and economical cybersecurity programs at a time of tight budgets that municipalities have, and then building out the technology stack that we've been doing over the last year or so beyond managed detection and response that help organizations meet more of their cybersecurity needs at a lower cost. So a number of different factors is we're hoping going to enable additional organizational uptake of this program.
Great, thanks.
All right, can I just ask, is the 40 municipalities or 40 combined municipal, small business and nonprofit customers? Just trying to.
That's a combined goal.
How many municipalities are there specific?
Right now, we have around 25 municipalities around there, and then there's between 5 and 10 small businesses and nonprofits in there. And that's of the current organizations that we're supporting with monitoring.
And the 40 would be 40 different ones, or 39 plus, well, I mean, one more. I assume it's not one more.
That would be additional, so including the current ones, additional. So we expect to go even beyond that goal of 40. That's moving beyond what we have currently.
Given time pressure, I'm just going to ask if anyone feels very strongly about a question, we can fit it in. But otherwise, I think we should keep moving. Okay, is it okay? So with that, can we put the motion up? Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll move
So
it.
moved.
And a second?
Second.
Terrific. Let's go ahead and do roll call. Jennifer?
Sorry. Ty?
Approve.
Chancellor Chen?
Yes.
Turchese?
Yes.
Scott?
Approved.
Ernesto?
Approved.
Joe?
Yes.
Bran?
Yes.
Secretary Snyder?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Alok?
Yes.
Bogdan?
Yes.
Megan?
Yes.
And Secretary Paley?
Yes. I think it was Jeff, right, who had the question. So I think on the next one, he gets first dibs if he has a question. Okay, so we're going to go to item 5 from the Mass Broadband Institute. And we're going to turn it over to Jody Jones to cover this.
Thank you, Secretary Paley. Good afternoon, everyone. Nice to see you. MBI is returning today for the federally funded Capital Projects Fund device distribution program, Connected and Online. I'm going to turn it over in a moment to my colleague Caitlin to introduce all the details, but I just wanted to share 2 quick notes about Caitlin before I introduce. Or before I hand it over. The first is that Caitlin, in addition to running as the program manager of the Connected and Online program, she also runs MBI's $58 million Digital Equity Partnership Program. And I mentioned that because the conversation earlier around adoption for the Grow with Google program, the partnerships program is funding hundreds of digital navigators working across the state. So I know previous board items have brought that to light, but just want to highlight that again, that program is currently being funded through MBI, and there's a lot of important work around adoption happening in Massachusetts. The second quick thing about Caitlin that I want to mention is that she is going to be presenting today as a recent graduate of Clark University's School of Climate, Environmental, and Society. So she graduated yesterday with her master's degree. So just want to hand it over to Caitlin today and say congratulations on behalf of the whole MBI team and MassTech team for your amazing accomplishment. Caitlin?
Thank you, Jody. I appreciate it. Hi, everyone. As Jody said, my name is Caitlin Schubert. I'm the Digital Equity and Broadband Grant Manager with MBI. Today, we're bringing forth a motion in regards to our vendors, HubTech and Dell. For those who are less familiar with our Connected Online program, it is our device distribution program. We had the goal of distributing over 32,000 internet-connected devices. Under round one, we were able to award 217 of our 233 applicants, totaling just over 26,000 devices. We did launch a second round in March that closed in April. And out of the 68 applicants, we were able to award 45 of those. And that's totaling just over 5,000 devices. We're really excited for this program. The goals of it are to expand access to education, workforce training, as well as healthcare and telehealth access, especially in our gateway and rural communities. We've seen a huge interest, as Cody mentioned, around the Grow with Google program. We've been advertising that, and we have a lot of our libraries and our educational groups that are looking to incorporate that with their device distribution program. So as they get up and running over the summer, we're excited to see the impact that will make. Today, because we have closed round two, we are looking to increase our awards to our two core vendors, one being Dell. We're looking to increase their award by 300,000. We would like to transfer funds from the already 2.5 or 28.5 million that was already allocated from HubTech to Dell. And this is primarily because of the vitality of the market. We're seeing a huge increase in devices, and we'd like to lock in the quote with Dell at the current rate for those devices. So for those 45 awarded organizations, we want to get those devices purchased as soon as possible. And then additionally, we're looking to increase HubTech's award by 2.8. They are our vendor, and they're doing providing all the ancillary equipment as well as the services to our grantees. And these new awards will cover what is left to award our round two grantees. And with that, I'll pause for questions. And if there are no questions, we can move to the motion.
We could do one or two if anyone has any. Okay, we have a motion on the screen. Does anyone want to move this forward?
So moved.
Thank you. In a second. Wonderful. Let's go ahead and do the roll call.
All right, Ty.
Approve.
Chancellor Chen.
Yes.
Turchese.
Abstain.
Scott.
Approved.
Ernesto.
Approved.
Joe.
Yes.
Bran.
Yes.
Secretary Snyder.
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
Alok.
Yes.
Bogdan.
Yes.
Megan.
Yes.
And Secretary Paley.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you.
Wonderful. Okay, so we have now item 6. We've got 8 minutes. It is from the Mass AI Hub, so I'm going to turn it over to Sabrina Mansur.
Hello, so Massachusetts AI Hub is bringing forward the opportunity for a program that supports 400 public high school students in Massachusetts. The award would be for $250,000 to the Work-Based Learning Alliance, who will be able to pay the students for a virtual internship. The program unlocks the barriers that come with requiring transportation to have meaningful internships at that high school level. This is also being matched by philanthropic donation from the Bright Ground organization, and happy to take questions on the program itself.
Quick question. So I couldn't quite tell from the pre-read. So it's virtual. They're in their homes, or and are the volunteers also virtual? So there's nobody sort of gathering them at their high school or anything like that.
Correct.
Okay. Is there a thought that maybe there would be maybe one or two things where they could come together in person?
Yes, we actually are discussing with one of the major corporations the opportunity to make it, electively being able to bring them together and seeing if we can garner support to do that.
Yeah.
But there's,
Yeah, I think that would be great if we could do it.
Yeah.
What's what?
We need buses.
You need
Yeah.
buses. Well, I mean, I think, yeah, we can maybe talk, maybe there's a creative way to do it, but I
Yeah.
understand, I think it's great that, yeah, we're getting past the transportation barrier, but I just feel like they would get a richer experience if they could also have something that was in person as a part of it, so, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Joe?
Does the Alliance hook up the students with the program, or is it the schools?
So the Work-Based Alliance partners with the public high schools to do the selection of the students. The Massachusetts AI Hub is working with the companies to bring that forward, and then the match is done between the Work-Based Learning Alliance and the Massachusetts AI Hub.
Thank you.
Secretary Snyder.
Yeah, this kind of follows the chancellor's questions. How will we measure the efficacy of the program?
That's a great question. We can certainly do surveys to understand the student experiences for this first, effort at the program. Good question.
Okay. So with just a few minutes left, I think we should move to the motion unless someone feels like there's a real pressing question. Okay, do I have someone to move this forward?
So moved.
In a second?
Second.
Okay, so let's do our roll call. Thanks, Jennifer.
Hi.
Approve.
Chancellor Chen.
Yes.
Turchese.
Approve.
Scott.
Approve.
Ernesto.
Approved.
Joe.
Yes.
Bran.
Yes.
Secretary Snyder.
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
Alok.
Yes.
Bogdan.
Yes.
Megan.
Yes.
And Secretary Paley.
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes.
Okay, so with that motion passing, I think we've concluded our business for the day, unless there's anything I'm missing, and welcome anyone jumping in if I am. I think we're then ready to adjourn. We don't need a motion for that. So I just thank everyone for your time today, for your continued service to the Commonwealth, and for the MassTech team for all the hard work you do to make all the work we're doing all spread out across the Commonwealth and drive the impact that we all get to do together. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Secretary.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Take care.